Welcome to Total Fitness Friday, and today's routine, chemical. It's a mixture of movements. So we do a lot of body weight and kettlebell throws, and we're doing them in shopping list style, where you build up on each round. I'll explain all shortly. Just get yourself a little mix of kettlebells. If you're going to do some windmills, will be your lightest one. If you've not done those before, that would be nice and light. You can even just use just your hand. And a reasonably heavy one for some double grip rows and swings. Right, let's get warmed up, and then I'll go through the detail with you. Okay, chugging up the squat first, then nice and light, nice and loose. Chest stretch, pull the shoulder blades together, 10 times. rounds like this. 6 exercises total. Once we get to all 6, like one each round, we'll have done 6 sets of that first exercise. You can then tick it off the list, and you go back to the start for the second, and you tick that off the list, and so on, so the left and just the last. So you end up doing 6 sets of the 6 exercises. Okay, now the exercises that we've got today, they're all little mixes of movements. None of them are that simple. So let me go through each one with you. Doing each one for 40 seconds, 15 seconds recover, and on to the next one. Okay, so it's 36 sets non-stop. Okay, so number 1 is a big start jack press up, okay? So it's this little pattern of movement, it's all body weight. So if you want to show you at this angle is probably how you'll understand it best. So big start, so you're going to drop the hips back, okay, then in, okay, then feet out, then chest down, okay, there, rock back, in the jack press up, okay, you can break that down, okay, whereas I'm sort of almost diving into it, okay, you don't need to do that, you can just go there, say jack, then drop to the knees, then press up, okay, rock back, jack legs, drop, press up, okay, so you can adjust it how you need to adjust it, okay, right, number 2 and 3 is the same exercise, but different sides, okay, and it's a cluster to windmill, so it's a clean, squat, press, windmill. Okay, once it's in there, it'll be in there. If you've never done it before, you'll definitely want a nice and light kettlebell for this. Okay? So, clean, that's the clean part of it. Squat, press, windmill. Okay? And then back to the start. Clean, squat, press, windmill. Okay, it's the windmill that most people have trouble with if you've not done them before. So remember, as I'm going down, my shoulders doing that. Okay, so I'm trying to keep gravity on my side as much as possible. Okay? There. Turn my hand back. Keep it back, and then in, okay? Like I say, nice and light if you've not done them before, okay? Just go for more reps, do a bit quicker perhaps. Lightweight. Then we're going to add in, on round 3, the same but the other side. Clean, squat, press, windmill, left side. Right, number 4. Hands up. Goblet march. This gives you a little bit of respite, I suppose, but it's probably harder than what you imagine when you are tired. So, a goblet march. We've got lots of different march styles. This time, you're going to hold in that goblet position. Okay? There, nice and tight. And then you're going to march the legs. Okay, try and keep your spine nice and straight. Head to the ceiling. Bring the knees up. Okay? Nice and simple, but when you're tired from those previous ones, it is actually quite challenging that. Okay, next one, the last 2, is stepping swings. So it's, again, we're still working on normal kettlebell swings, then just stick with normal kettlebell swings. Okay? So we're going to do stepping swings. So you're going to go there, step forward, step backwards. Okay? So you step, draw level, while it's weightless, yeah? So through the thighs, then we get back through the hinge of the hips. That is key to all the kettlebell moves really. To some extent or another, clean, deadlift, swings, they're all that same, you need that hinge. Okay? And your hand sandwich, your thighs and belly, and hips back. Anyway, so while it's up there, step, draw level, down it comes, up it goes, step back, draw level. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Okay, because how you can go and you've not mastered the normal just static swing in place, and just stick with that until you have. Then you can move on to the stepping swings. Last one, squat thrust, deadlift, high pull. Okay? Sorry, deadlift row, not high pull. So, I'll show you squat thrust with your feet level there. So we're going to hands down and out, in. Deadlift. So again, that's a hinge of the hips. Back down. This time though, instead of hinging the hips, I'm just going to keep that hinge low. Overhand row to belly button. Back. Hands down. Out, in. Deadlift. Row. Yeah, so from the side of the squat thrust, first one is the hinge of the hips. Second one is a row. Okay? And then back out. So again, it's a little chain of movements. Right, everybody set there. So let's get started. 36 sets. Yay. Back to back, and then we've got a great little ab finisher as well. Okay. So 40 seconds work. 15 seconds to catch your breath. Okay. Right, big start, press up first. Here we go.
Yeah, picking up and everybody's picking up. I wanna live it up, I've never been no good at up. And I can feel the love around me, I can feel the love. It's like I'm drowning but I'm proud I couldn't give up. Ooh, I ain't never coming to. 3 more drinks and then I'm coming on to you. 4 more lives and 10 slides and let me through. The same sacrifice what I wanna do. Whoa. Sacrifice what I wanna do. Whoa.
Brilliant. Stepping swings.
watch the band.
kettlebells back. Keep a matto. We've got an out finisher, chemical. Hope you enjoyed that one. Sorry, already going. But next best thing, come along to this every morning and do it with me. 9:30 every weekday, 9 AM on a Saturday, that's tomorrow, right? The little ab finisher then, okay? Just be here in a minute and be ready to go, okay? So every 10 seconds of the minute is your rest. So you're not getting it off, just 10 seconds this time. On minute 1, you're doing 6 sit-up and twist per side, 12 total. Okay? So I'm going 6 twisting that way, and then 6 twisting that way. Okay, 12 total. And the remainder of that minute, once I've done those reps, I'm going to hold that hollow body. Okay? So like this, squeeze the abs, lift the head and chest, lift the feet off the floor and hold. Squeeze. Okay? If you need to do a bit better knees like that, that's fine. Don't sit on your hands. That's using your hands to tilt your hips. You want your core to be tilting your hips, not your hands. Right, minute 2. And every even minute thereafter, 30 clap unders, and then plank for the remainder of the time. So clap under, so like a cycle crunch, I'm going to literally clap, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I hear that clap, okay, rather than just sort of fingertip. Try and get a solid clap, because that will really make your abs contract to reach that position. 30. When you've done 30 each side, then you come around and you hold the plank to the bell. You get 10 seconds rest, and you repeat that cycle 3 times, it's 6 minutes. Okay? So, let me just set all these times for you. So, chemical, the finisher. Again, a little bit mix of abs here just to see you home. Right, number 1. 12 or 6 of them twist, 6 each side. Hollow body hold to the bell. 10 seconds rest, 30 clap unders. Plank to the bell. 3 rounds. Ready? stretching, well worth staying. So I'll be back live in just a second. Well, tomorrow at 9 AM. See you for one and or both. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in from everywhere. Really cool to see all these places over the world. It's brilliant. Hope you're enjoying it. See you soon.